Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Tanya.
Well, you're feeling really good today, but it wasn't always like that. So what was it that brought you in here, the first visit?
Well, I'd been having a lot of different chronic pains.
Mm-hmm.
I had gone and seen medical doctors for quite a few different chronic pains, and even through x-rays and chest scans, they couldn't figure anything out as to why my body was doing what it was doing. That was frustrating. So about $10,000 later, I went and started seeing a chiropractor, which was what my gut instinct was telling me anyway, before I even started seeing the medical doctors. And she was able to at least help me on a week-to-week basis, getting me through the week. When I started seeing her, I actually started having a lot of different things happen in my life, fairly traumatic. I had the loss of one of my closest and dearest friends. I ended up taking over his business, which was very stressful. I had a major breakup. I had a miscarriage. I ended up in the hospital having to get a blood transfusion because of all the blood loss. Needless to say, I was in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
And after seeing her for a while, she worked with what I would call, or what she called NET, or emotional technique. And we kept finding that all of these things had an emotional component to it, but she didn't specialize in clearing those. And one day I was on Facebook and a friend of mine invited me to come see you speak. And at the time I didn't realize that that was going to change my life completely, but but when I came and saw you and heard you speak, everything clicked. It was like, okay, maybe there's hope for me not having to live like this every day.
Right. And then you had a pretty big healing just the other day. I mean, you've been coming in for some months. And what are some of the things that have improved since you've been coming in?
Well, I used to have major chronic back pain constantly. Didn't matter what I was doing. I don't really have that anymore. Unless I've been working 12 hours in a day on my feet, but that's different. I had been having particular shoulder pains. And sometimes it wasn't even pain, but just in using it, I could feel it almost dislocating when I would use it. And when you're younger, I think the muscles probably hold it in a little bit better. But it had always clicked and bothered me.
Because you're so old and all, is what you're saying.
I mean, when it first started, when I was like 14 or 15, you don't notice things as much when you're younger.
No, but you had that problem
17.
for a while. And when we had you on the table the other day, what I said, I found that something specific had happened when you were 17, and while we were clearing, you said, oh, I don't know what that was. And then as soon as we cleared it, you knew what it was.
I knew exactly
right?
what it was. It was almost the second that you hit that very last spot to put it right back into place, I had a memory flash in my head of a very large fight I had had with one of my friends in high school.
How long ago was that?
That was when I was 17, so that would have been 14 years ago.
14 years ago? So you had this shoulder problem, and now since we cleared it, what's happened in your shoulder?
Well, I can use it again. In the last couple of years, it's actually gotten more painful.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of tingling and stuff. Couldn't sleep on my left side because I just would wake up in the middle of the night with so much pain and numbness.
So have you slept on your left side?
Yeah. So now I can sleep on my left side.
Cool.
It's fantastic.
That's great.
Well, and even when doing yoga or Pilates or anything, I always noticed it. And it was always extremely uncomfortable. And now I can hold my arm out and I don't even think about it anymore. It's not a thought that I'm, oh, my arm.
Yeah, it's just not there.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask you too about some of the energy work that we're doing, because we've actually, because of that blood transfusion and all the stuff that had happened to you, there was this heaviness that you had about you.
Yes.
And it felt like...
I didn't feel like myself.
Yeah.
It felt like there was, I don't even know what words I want to use. It just felt like there was something else there that was not.
Yeah, and we call those energy suckers.
Yep.
And they were really attached to you, and we've cleared those.
Yes.
More than once.
Oh, well, I think slowly but surely we're working through it.
Yeah.
But yes, well, not even slowly. I would consider that fast. Because we've only done it a couple of times, or 3 times.
We've only had to do it
3
times.
And that's been in a fairly short amount of time.
And sometimes that happens when you're in a place and there's lots of energy around that hasn't quite gotten its act together. Mm-hmm. And then it gloms onto somebody unsuspecting.
Yes.
And we clear it. And after you have those clearings, what does it feel like?
I literally feel lighter.
Good.
But it's not just about lightness on the feet. I just mean my spirit. Mm-hmm. I feel freer. Mm-hmm. Like there's not something just kind of bogging me down.
Right. And then, so think about this. If you hadn't come in, how would you see yourself in 5 years?
I would probably be smoking nonstop, drinking all the time, and miserable.
And now, how do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, I'm going to be on top of the world, baby. I feel so much different just from a year ago. It's amazing. It's easier to stay on a positive outlook. My life has just improved on all levels, personal, business, financial, everything. Everything has gotten better. Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that, and thanks for sharing.